Welcome to another special episode of the CPQ podcast. Today I'm thrilled to have a guest co-host, Carrie Jordan, joining me. Today we will be celebrating Epicor customers with an awards podcast, with the Collaboration Awards podcast. Let me introduce Carrie to you. Carrie is the host of the Manufacturing the Future podcast at Epicor and serves as the Group Vice President of Product Management at Epicor. She lives with her family in Richmond, Virginia, and brings nearly 20 years of technology experience to the table. I'm very excited to co-host this awards podcast with Carrie for the first time. Welcome to the CPQ podcast, Carrie.
Thank you so much, Frank. I'm really glad to be here.
Very glad to have you back here. And could you please tell us a little bit more about the new CPQ Awards program and the Collaboration Award?
Absolutely. You bet. So we are very excited to announce the new Epicor CPQ Awards program. This is the first year that we've done them. And Epicor, we see our customers use our products to accelerate their business velocity. And we're inspired by their achievements. And we really think that everyone else will be too. So we are more than happy to be celebrating their success and sharing all the cool things that they're doing and perhaps inspiring some ideas of our listeners. So that's why we've launched this awards program. And we're making these awards in three categories: the Innovation Awards, Collaboration Awards, and the Optimization Awards. And our collaboration champion is here with us today, CMTP. So a little bit about CMTP and why they're winning. So CMTP is a well-regarded organization as a leading packaging specialist. They actually boast 11 state-of-the-art manufacturing sites. They even have more expansion on the horizon. So each of the 11 sites previously had maintained its own pricing spreadsheets, and it was a slow and manual decentralized system that had some consequences such as inconsistency and really compromised efficiency and accuracy. So they looked to resolve that, of course, because it's very important to their organization to really offer top-notch service. So by integrating Epicor CPQ, CMTP not only streamlined their internal operations, but also significantly elevated the service quality that they offered to their clients. As CMTP continues to push the boundaries, they have set their sights on the future. They have plans to make their configurator available to their sales teams and directly to their customers for self-service transactions. We're really excited to learn from them and speak with them to get to know more about their story. Is really a forward-thinking approach, and it signifies their relentless drive to enhance customer experience and positioning at the forefront of very dynamic industry. So it's wonderful to have the opportunity to speak with them today.
Excellent. I'm definitely looking forward to it. And then let's start. So we have Travis and Josh, and what I would like to do is please introduce yourself and also tell me what your role is at CMTP. And let's start with Travis here.
Yeah, g'day, Travis Mead. I'm the Managing Director of CMTP.
Excellent. And then Josh, what's your role at CMTP?
Yes, so Josh Martin, my role is the digital projects lead. So I implement all of the digital solutions for the organization.
Excellent. And tell me a little bit more about this so that our listeners also understand what you do on a day-to-day basis.
Look, it's probably not a fixed role as such. So it does vary between implementing the solutions as opposed to day-to-day operations. So yeah, it's not just I suppose implementing them. It's looking at where the organization would like to be and the steps to get there as well. So and what solutions offer that best path forward.
Got it. And then just very quickly going to Travis before I hand over to Carrie. What is your day-to-day role at CMTP, Travis?
I oversee our 11 sites. So we've got 11 manufacturing sites that are located right up the east coast of Australia. So we have the 11 sites because we are in a fairly big country and well spread apart that, to be able to deliver goods to our customers efficiently, we need to be located close to the end user. We have bulky items that we're shipping, generally pallets and crates and things like that. So that's the main reason for having the 11 sites. We're Australia's largest pallet and crating manufacturer, and also provide a number of customised packaging solutions for customers combining timber, cardboard, and various other packaging materials to get their products to market.
That's great. Congratulations to you both, on this award. I'd love to understand your business a little bit more. Perhaps this question would be for Travis to get started. So prior to implementing Epicor CPQ, what were some of those operational challenges that you were experiencing? I understand that there was, sort of a pricing spreadsheet that you all had used, but would you share with us a little bit about your business and what you were going through that led you to that decision to implement Epicor CPQ?
Yeah, no problem. Our business started with one site, and we grew fairly quickly to, all of a sudden we have 11 sites, and it took quite a lot of managing to make sure all that pricing across the 11 sites was standardized. Also, we pride ourselves on getting back to our customers quickly with quotes, specifications, and so on. And that was probably the lead times for what we would prefer was starting to blow out a bit by having a slow system where a pallet or crate was priced on an Excel spreadsheet, and then someone with SolidWorks experience then had to draw that product up to be able to send both specifications and pricing to a customer. So that was starting to take a long time, and really chewing up lots of resources. So we started looking around for what was a better solution, how we could do this quicker, and we stumbled across KB Max, and we found that that probably suited our business best, and so the journey started of rolling out KB Max, and Josh was very heavily involved in that part of it, but also the build of KB Max. Josh took over a fair role in the customization of the KB Max to suit our configuration requirements. It after we rolled that out, it just it saved us a huge amount of time, and our speed to get back to a customer now from starting a quote to sending the quote and specifications to the customer is can be under 5 minutes.
That's great.
And aside from the site improvement, what other improvements have you seen since you implemented the Epicor CPQ, the former KB Max?
Yeah, I think you've got the speed to get back to customers, which was a critical one for us, but also the consistency across all our 11 sites in pricing, where we've got the system set up. They all use the same system rather than having different Excel templates at different sites that are very easily adjusted and manipulated and so on. And we're just fraught with danger for pricing errors and so on. So we can really have a tight control over that now by everyone quoting through the one system. And to be able to adjust certain numbers in the background is restricted to a few people. So it eliminates a lot of the risk of errors.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing that, Josh. And I wanted to ask you, as far as the implementation process went, what was your experience, and how did that implementation go?
It was interesting. There was obviously lots of hurdles to get over, but the initial implementation phase was a lot of back and forth with the development team based in Italy, and a huge learning curve for myself. It was a bit of a slow process at the start, particularly with trying to understand the KB Max expectations, particularly around your rules and your logic, and trying to extract all of that information from our spreadsheets and our designs into these rules and logic, and relaying that information then back to the Italian team. Once we got over that initial phase, every subsequent configurator after that was a lot more streamlined, because I knew exactly what they were expecting, and in what format, and everything sort of progressed a lot quicker after that.
Josh, I'm glad you shared that. That's really interesting, and I can see how it might take some time to ensure you're really tailoring the system to fit the drawings and things that you had as part of your business process. Do you have any advice that you would share with other organizations, lessons learned? What did you do that ended up streamlining the future expansion across sites?
I guess for me, some of the bigger ones was having a dedicated team around you that have the same goals in mind. Having that team early on is really key in getting things moving a lot quicker, and getting them involved a lot more as well. It helps with the go live phase, because you have more than one person that sort of champions it, and you've got a lot more people that can help out. You don't have one person that answers all the questions. You've got several people. So that's probably my biggest one, is getting more people involved in that initial phase, and that should help out with that go live phase.
That's great guidance. So often it comes down to the power of your team and surrounding yourself with a great team.
Excellent. But what I'm wondering also is, I guess the goal is also to be more competitive with the solution, right? So how has it impacted your competitiveness to use this solution now? How do you recognize this?
I think the competitiveness is really around that quote to market. So we have a lot of opposition, and we find generally if you get back to them really quick and beat your opposition to quoting, you greatly enhance your chances of winning the work. In our industry, people are chasing a pallet or packaging and so on, and so they really need it, and quite often will need it quickly. Because sometimes it can be a bit of an afterthought. They're packaging, oh, gee, we need some pallets, we better get on to someone. And so they'll hit the internet and send requests out to a number of companies. And, by getting back to them quick, they see that as, you're a responsive company, you'll get the job done that they need, and you probably build that confidence. So that's why we have such a big emphasis on responding to customers quickly, because we see that as one of our number one ways to win more work.
Got it. So in addition to getting it faster out, so also you impact the customer satisfaction, I guess, right? So that at least what I understood, because you answer faster. But I would expect that also impacts the business strategy in general, right? So what did change after you started using KB Max or Epicor CPQ?
Oh, yeah, our staff are spending less time sitting in front of a computer, typing into Excel spreadsheets, and then waiting on other staff who we had tied up. We had a limited number of staff that could use SolidWorks to draw up pallets. They didn't have, we don't have a heap of staff with that experience. So, there could be a wait for getting specifications drawn up, as well as the resource that we had to have within our company with those skills to draw the specifications in SolidWorks. So probably freed up resources. Our sales staff spend less time in front of computers and more time out selling to customers. And we don't have design staff tied up drawing basic pallets that we can now draw automatically through KB Max.
Okay, got it. And then also, since you mentioned SolidWorks, how did you integrate that into, I call it KB Max, we should call it Epicor CPQ, but anyway, so how does that feed into the integration with Epicor CPQ, the SolidWorks visualization?
Yeah, look, it definitely does save us a lot of time. Even a standard pallet could take up to 10 minutes for myself to create the parts, and then obviously create the PDF output, and having that sort of that integration between Epicor CPQ and SolidWorks, and then obviously that output. You don't have to have anyone waiting around and doing the work for it. It sort of just happens very automatically and very, very quickly. takes about a minute, maybe a minute and a half, depending on how complex the palette is, for SolidWorks to generate that PDF output, which then obviously means that we can get that drawing out to the customer much quicker.
Excellent. And one follow-up question to that: how much work was it to implement that in the solution? So how much was it to set it up?
Look, the palette configurator itself, I didn't have to create. So that was the Italian implementation team that did that, and that did take quite some time because of I guess there was a lot of learning from both parties initially. That was the very first configurator that we implemented, and I guess with it being our first one, we kind of wanted a lot of the bells and whistles. We wanted nail patterns, that sort of stuff, which overcomplicates the 3D model and also the CAD output. So it did take quite a while for us to land on that final configurator, but the subsequent ones were much quicker.
Thanks for sharing. So, Carrie, back to you.
Yeah, so I did have a question for you both. And that is, so you have these 11 manufacturing sites, and of course, this award is for collaboration. Could you speak a little bit about how Epicor CPQ, KB Max helped to improve that collaboration and really communication across those different locations for your teams?
I suppose the main way is it was just one centralized, pricing platform for our business. So all our sites can access the one database now and see a quote that's being worked on at any site. We supply a number of national customers. We may be supplying a company in Victoria, but we're also supplying one of their branches in Queensland from one of our Queensland sites. So having all that data centralized just makes it, just very easy and streamlined to know who's doing what for what customer, and it works well.
Great. That's great. A centralized pricing platform. I love it. Well, so congratulations on your award. Congratulations on so much growth. I mean, you mentioned from one site now to 11. My last question is, what's next? What's next for CMTP?
Oh, anything could happen. We're always looking at more growth opportunities. We're a fairly flexible business, so we're really open to anything. And what we have learned over the years is that anything can change very quickly. So we sort of always keep our ear to the ground, what's going on, look for new opportunities, and who knows what might be next.
Excellent. Then I would say, as we come to the end of this episode, the last question is always, what's a good way for interested listeners to contact you in case they want to learn more about your story? What's a good way, Travis?
Look us up on our website, cmtp.com.au, and make contact, and I'm sure we'll be able to have a chat to them.
Excellent. Josh, what's the best way for interested listeners to contact you in case they have follow-up questions?
Look, probably the same approach there. That's probably the best method there.
Excellent. Then we will go ahead and share the contact information as always in the show notes. Thank you very much, everyone, for making time for the CPQ podcast today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And just a quick reminder that links to the stories will be in the description. And you can also just learn more about Epicor and Epicor CPQ at epicor.com. And if anybody wants to connect with me, you can find me on LinkedIn at Carrie Jordan. Thank you so much.